Welcome to Wisdom Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2610 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. In today's Wisdom Nugget, I'll be your guide on this exciting journey through the Scriptures, seeking timeless truths and practical wisdom for everyday living. Thank you for joining me again as we continue our exploration through the profound poetry, prayers, and songs found in the book of Psalms. Today we're stepping into Psalm 59. It's a heartfelt plea written by David during one of his darkest and most fearful moments. Specifically, David wrote this psalm when King Saul sent his men to his house to assassinate him. Picture David hiding, watching through a window as powerful enemies close in, his life in immediate danger. Yet even at this terrifying moment, David turns confidently toward God. Let's dive into Psalm chapter 59, verses 1 through 10, reading from the New Living Translation. Rescue me from my enemies, O God. Protect me from those who have come to destroy me. Rescue me from these criminals. Save me from these murderers. They have set an ambush for me. Fierce enemies are out there waiting, O Lord, though I have not sinned or offended them. I have done nothing wrong, and yet they prepare to attack me. Wake up and see what is happening and help me. O Lord, God of heaven's armies, the God of Israel, wake up and punish those hostile nations. Show no mercy to wicked traitors. They come out at night, snarling like vicious dogs as they prowl the streets. Listen to the filth that comes from their mouth, their words cut like swords. After all, who can hear us, they sneer. But Lord, you laugh at them. You scoff at all the hostile nations. You are my strength. I wait for you to rescue me. For you, O God, are my fortress. In his unfailing love, my God will stand with me. He will let me look down on triumph on all my enemies. David begins Psalm 59 with verses 1 and 2 by urgently asking God's intervention and protection. Rescue me from my enemies, O God. Protect me from those who have come to destroy me. Rescue me from these criminals. Save me from these murderers. Notice immediately the sense of urgency and seriousness in David's prayer. He's not exaggerating or speaking metaphorically. He literally faces death. King Saul, driven by envy and fear, sent his soldiers to kill David during the night. David's cry is desperate and yet focused entirely on God's power to deliver him. David calls his enemies criminals and murderers, emphasizing the injustice and violence. From an ancient Israelite perspective, killing someone innocent violated God's sacred law. David highlights this injustice, confident that God, the righteous judge, will intervene. Imagine waking up in the night to find armed intruders circling your home, intent on taking your life. That fear and vulnerability perfectly captures David's reality. His first instinct isn't panic and despair, though. It's immediate and complete reliance on God. Have you ever faced circumstances where danger or threats, whether physical, emotionally, or spiritually, have made you feel deeply vulnerable? Like David, our best response is to always urgently and confidently cry out to God, trusting him completely as our protector and our rescuer. Next, David highlights the unfairness of this situation in verses 3 and 4. They have set an ambush for me. Fierce enemies are out there waiting, Lord, though I have not sinned or offended them. I have done nothing wrong, yet they prepare to attack me. Wake up and see what is happening and help me. David emphasizes his innocence here. He isn't facing consequences from personal wrongdoing. Instead, he is suffering unjust persecution. He vividly describes the enemy hiding in ambush, eagerly waiting to attack. David's bold call, "Wake up!" isn't disrespectful, but passionately pleading for God's immediate attention. It shows deep trust in God's justice. He knows God sees all things, yet in desperate moments, it's natural and honest to plead urgently for divine intervention. Consider someone wrongly accused, perhaps facing unjust legal charges, desperately pleading for a fair judge to wake up, see clearly, and act justly. This illustrates David's situation. He needs God's immediate justice to prevail. Have you ever been misunderstood, falsely accused, or unjustly treated? David's passionate plea encourages us to openly express our need for justice to God, confidently trusting his righteous judgment. In verse 5, David invokes the powerful covenant name of God. O Lord, God of heaven's armies, the God of Israel, wake up and punish those hostile nations. Show no mercy on these wicked traitors. David addresses God as Lord God of heaven's armies, Yahweh Sabaoth. For the ancient Israelites, the title was significant, emphasizing God's infinite power, authority, and strength over all forces, both earthly and spiritual. David knows that God commands countless heavenly armies, infinitely stronger than human enemies. He also asks boldly for God to judge hostile nations and wicked traitors, emphasizing their betrayal not only of David, but of God himself. David sees this struggle within a bigger spiritual context, emphasizing the cosmic battle between God's righteousness and human wickedness. Imagine calling upon a powerful general who commands massive armies, knowing that this commander's strength vastly exceeds the enemy. The picture vividly portrays David's confidence in God's infinite power. In our battles, personal struggles, relational conflicts, or spiritual challenges, do we recognize God's absolute power, confidently calling on Him as our ultimate defender and advocate? Now in verses 6 and 7, David vividly describes his enemies again. They come out at night, snarling like vicious dogs as they prowl the streets. Listen to the filth that comes from their mouth, their words cut like swords. After all, who can hear us? They sneer. He uses striking imagery, vicious, prowling dogs snarling in the darkness, mouths full of destructive, cutting words. These enemies speak arrogantly, believing no one sees their actions or their hearts. But David knows that God hears everything clearly. In ancient Israel, dogs weren't usually domestic pets. They were wild, scavenging, and dangerous animals. This powerful imagery reinforces the threat David feels, emphasizing enemies' cruelty, viciousness, and arrogance. Picture a pack of wild dogs, dangerous dogs prowling the dark city streets at night, growling fiercely. Their threatening presence evokes fear and vulnerability, exactly what David experienced emotionally and physically. Have hurtful, harmful words attacked you, spoken secretly or in open? David's vivid description reminds us that God hears every word clearly. We're not alone. He sees, He hears, and He ultimately defends. Yet in verses 8 through 10, David confidently declares God's sovereign response. But the Lord will laugh at them. You scoff at all the hostile nations. You are my strength. I wait for you to rescue me, for you, O God, are my fortress. In His unfailing love, my God will stand with me. He will let me look down on a triumph over all my enemies. David shifts dramatically here, moving from fear and threat to confident assurance. God isn't intimidated or threatened. He laughs, knowing human threats can never undermine His authority. David declares God as his strength and his fortress, confidently waiting for His rescue. He beautifully describes God's unfailing love in the Hebrew word chesed, signifying steadfast covenantal love. God stands firmly beside David, ensuring ultimate victory over enemies. David confidently sees the future triumph through God's faithful protection. Imagine being safely sheltered inside a fortified tower during a storm, completely protected. The winds howl fiercely outside, you're secure within your sturdy walls, and David trusts God's exactly like that. A secure fortress amid chaos. When threats surround us, fear, anxiety, and conflict, can we, like David, confidently see God as our strength and fortress, knowing His unfailing love guarantees victory? Psalm 59 verses 1 through 10 beautifully guides us from urgent cries for help through injustice, danger, and fear toward God's assurance of God's ultimate justice, strength, and steadfast love. David's experience encourages us profoundly. In times of fear or threat, trust God urgently, confidently, and expectantly. He stands with us, our ultimate protector and our fortress. Thank you for joining me today on our Wisdom Trek. Until we meet again, may God's wisdom guide your steps and His peace fill your hearts. And if you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. And then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek. Creating a legacy. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, and most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead by integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day every day. See you next time for more daily wisdom.